Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Madam Pamita, and you're listening to Magic and the Law of Attraction, the podcast where you'll learn how to transform your life in magical ways to make it the very best that it can be. This is episode 36 of Magic and the Law of Attraction. How do I do a spell with a Rose of Jericho? Let me ask you a question, guys. Are you ready for a money miracle? Well, in this episode, I'm going to be teaching you about the money miracle plant. It's called the Rose of Jericho, and I'm going to teach you how you can use it in your spell work. This episode is generously sponsored by Source Point Wellness, kind, compassionate, and mindful medicine located in Los Angeles, California. If you want to become a supporter or a sponsor or an advertiser of Magic and the Law of Attraction, it's super easy to do and not even expensive. You can be a supporter for as little as $7 per episode. If you want to know more, go to magicandthelawofattraction.com and click the Become a Podcast Supporter button at the top of the page, and you will find out more. All right, you guys, so what's going on? We're going to talk about the Rose of Jericho and what I like to call the money miracle plant. This is one of I love working with the Rose of Jericho. And one of the reasons I love working with the Rose of Jericho is it kind of expresses an essence about magic that's deeper than just the thing that it is, deeper than just that plant, that magic plant. It actually represents a very important principle of magic. And that's what I like to call the forgiving nature of magic. Magic, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do it right every time. It is forgiving. If you make a mistake, if you don't do it right the first time, you always get another go at it. You know, we all make mistakes. This is part of our human learning process, as making mistakes. And magic allows us to make mistakes and try again. One of the things that I teach is that if you screw up a spell, you know, you do something crazy like you blew out your candle and you weren't supposed to blow it out, or something crazy happened, don't worry. Nothing is going to go backwards. It's just going to do nothing. And that's okay. You'll get another chance to do another spell, right? We get chances with magic to fix things and change things. Anything from little annoyances to huge issues. That's what magic is all about. It's about changing our life and making it go in the direction that we want it to go. So when we make a mistake with a spell, we do something goofy and we don't do it right, that's okay. It's no big deal. You just do it over again. Now, when we think about life, what magic helps us do is to do spell work so that we can fix things that aren't working right. So like if you messed up in your relationship, you started an argument that you shouldn't have started, or you made a mistake with your business, a spell helps us to turn that around. Magic is a path of forgiveness and second chances and even third and fourth chances. Spells give us the gift of a do-over. That's why I love magic. And that's what the Rose of Jericho is all about. The Rose of Jericho is a miraculous plant. It's called the resurrection plant. One of its names is the resurrection plant. And it is about do-overs. So that beautiful tool, the Rose of Jericho, is a magical tool that gives us a chance to start over again. It's called the Rose of Jericho. It's called the resurrection plant, or what I like to call it, the money miracle plant. Now, the Rose of Jericho by itself is a fascinating piece of nature, doing things that you might not even believe are possible. So first of all, let's talk about what a Rose of Jericho is. A Rose of Jericho is not a rose at all. It is a name that we give to a group of fern-like plants that grow in some of the harshest climates around. They grow in the deserts of Mexico. They grow in the deserts of the Middle East. Now, these are places with harsh climates, extreme temperatures. And one of the characteristics of these places is that when the weather is dry, it's really dry and it's really hot. And most plants die in that environment, but not the Rose of Jericho. These plants dry up almost completely, and they curl up into a little brown ball and remain dormant until the rainy season comes. Now, they can survive in this dormant state for years. So they're kind of almost in suspended animation, like in the science fiction movies, we would say, just waiting to come back when they are exposed to those rains, right? When they're exposed to water, they resurrect or they come back to life over the course of a day or two. They open up and they turn green again. Now, the way that this plant dies and comes back to life is pretty darn miraculous. And that's why I call it the money miracle plant. I mean, who doesn't want to see and experience and have the energy of a living, real life, scientific, natural miracle in their environment? I sure want those magical things in my life. And here is a magical plant that does that. And the Rose of Jericho as a plant, in many, many, many magical paths, magical practices, we look at that plant as a prosperity plant. It is used for prosperity, and that's why I call it the money miracle plant. Now, it can be used in all prosperity spells. So if you're, starting a new business and you want to be prosperous, you could have a Rose of Jericho in that new business. But the Rose of Jericho really shines, like it really does. It's the most amazing work when you need to revive or resurrect your prosperity, meaning you had it once before, something happened, things weren't so good, but now you want to bring that prosperity back again. So, great example might relate to what's going on in a lot of people's lives right now. They had jobs, they had incomes, then we had a situation that you lost your job or you were on furlough or something happened and that income shriveled up, and we need to bring that income back again, get that back again. Well, the money miracle plant is perfect in situations like that. So this is a great plant for doing things when you want to revive prosperity, you want to revive abundance, or you want to revive a work situation, anything to do with money, prosperity, work, and so on. The money miracle plant is great. Or, another example that might be going on for a lot of people right now is a business. If you have a business and your business was doing great and then all of a sudden shutdowns came and now everything's on hold, that money miracle plant can be used to bring back your flow, bring back your abundance, help you to find new ways to bring in that income and so on. So it's really an amazing and beautiful plant for doing this kind of work. Now, in a minute, I'm going to be telling you a step-by-step way to do a Rose of Jericho spell. But after this episode is over, you might still have questions about magic and about a Rose of Jericho, or how do I do it, or is it good for this situation? So I want to tell you about a way that you can meet with me, Madam Pamita, and some amazing other magical practitioners for free. And you can ask me questions about spells, magic, tarot, witchcraft, law of attraction, spiritualism, anything magical, anything mystical. It's all fair game. So every Sunday I host a live magic Q&A tea party, and it takes place on Zoom. It is so much fun. So if you're stuck at home, you have nothing to do Sunday night, get together with me and my guests for an hour, and you can come into what I like to call the Spell Squad Clubhouse. It's the Zoom room. And in it, my guests and I answer your questions about all the magical stuff, including your questions about prosperity magic, including your questions about Rose of Jericho's and all of those things. Rose of Jericho's? No, I think I should say Roses of Jericho. Anyway, it doesn't cost anything to join us there, but you do have to be a member of the Spell Squad to get in. So how do you get to be a member? It's so easy. Again, that doesn't cost anything. You just go to spellsquad.com, you sign up for my newsletter, and the first email that you'll get will have the link to get you in via computer, smartphone, or even your regular phone to come and join us for the live magic Q&A. You got to bring your own tea. It's BYOT, folks. I'm not going to serve a tea to you. Can't do that over the phone or over the internet, but you can bring your own tea or whatever it is that you want to drink. No judging. You can bring a glass of wine or whatever. But you can come and join us for that live magic Q&A. It takes place every Sunday It's at 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to see past episodes to kind of check out what it's about, you can find them on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Madam Pamita. You can go ahead and check out past episodes, but come and join us in the room. It is so much fun. We not only do you get to have this great opportunity to ask questions, but we have a great group. The Spell Squad is a great group of very knowledgeable magical people. And so oftentimes, over in that chat where people are asking questions, other people will give some suggestions and answers, and you can communicate with one another over in the chat. And it's just a really loving, supportive, wonderful group of people. So I hope that you will come over and check it out next Sunday or some Sunday, any Sunday. If you want to know who my guests are going to be, you can go over to my website, go to parlorofwonders.com. Go to instruction and you go to live, I think it's called Live Magic Q&A on there, and you can find it and you'll see the calendar and you'll see who my guests are going to be, my upcoming guests are going to be. And it's really, really fun. But anyway, regardless, go over to spellsquad.com and sign up today so that you can be in the Spell Squad. And once you're in the Spell Squad, you'll get a ton of free goodies. You can join me and my guests with a cup of tea or glass of wine, and you'll get some deep spiritual knowledge. It's always fun. We always have an amazing time, and we would love to see you over there. So let's talk about what a Rose of Jericho prosperity spell would look like. So to do some magical work with a Rose of Jericho, you just have to first start with the Rose of Jericho. So if you go over to my website, parlorofwonders.com, you can find them there. Just type in the search bar Money Miracle and the Money Miracle plant will show up, and that's the Rose of Jericho. You could also type Rose of Jericho and it'll pop up too. Roses of Jericho are also available at a lot of botanicas, but not a lot of botanicas are open right now because of all that's going on when we're doing this recording, at least. If you're listening to this later, of course, when botanicas are open, you can find them there. You can find them lots of places, but I do sell them at Parlor of Wonders, so you can get those over there. So you need a Rose of Jericho, and now you're going to get the things that you're going to need are you're going to need a little shallow dish of spring water. Now, the spring water part of it is really kind of a nice thing. Spring water has energy of the earth, and so it has an extra kind of power to it. But if you can't get spring water, of course, you can use tap water. If you have a special water, like you made some moon water or you got some rainwater, of course, you can use those too as well. So any kind of water, you can use a magical water or you can use a regular water. But what I recommend is kind of a baseline is spring water. You can get that from bottled water sources. You don't have to go to a spring to get it. Just go to your store when you go to get your groceries, pick up some spring water, and you can use that and your Rose of Jericho. Now you're going to place that plant in the dish with its roots down in that shallow dish of spring water. Now I like to start, if you're going to do this spell on with an alignment for money, I like doing it on a Friday because Friday's a really great day for money. Thursday's also a great day for money as well. So on a Thursday or a Friday is a great day to start this spell. If you want to know more about days of the week to start different kinds of spells, you probably want to go back and check out episode 3 where I talk about what's the best day for making magic. I talk about days of the week and why those are great for, doing spell work. You could also do it in alignment with the moon. And if you were doing this spell, I would recommend that you do it at a time when the moon is getting bigger. That's between the new moon, the dark moon, and the full moon. When the moon is waxing, getting bigger, that's a great time for increase, for bringing back something, and so on. So those are your two options for starting the spell. You can do one, both, or neither. You don't have to start a spell at a certain time, but when you do, you get that extra boost of energy. So that's a good thing to do. Now, with that little dish of water, a little saucer of water, you want to you could add some talismans to that water that invite prosperity. So things like gemstones or coins or money drawing herbs, those can all be added to that dish when you do that spell. Now, if you have an altar in your home for prosperity or just a general altar for bringing in things, you can place that dish with the talismans and the water and the Rose of Jericho on your altar or that sacred space. Regardless, you should put it in a special place. If it's not on a particular altar, put it in a special place in your home. Now, each day you're going to replace that water. You're going to pour off the water and add new spring water. Okay. When you do that and you pour that water, you can save that water, because that water that you pour off is Rose of Jericho water, which is a powerful prosperity blessing water that you can do a lot of things with. Now, I wouldn't recommend drinking it or using it in food or anything like that, but you could sprinkle it or spray it around your home or your business, or you could apply it to yourself, or you could put it in a bath, or you could put it in something for your loved ones to add that extra element of prosperity. So you can bless yourself with that water, use it in a bath, or spray it around your home or your business. Now, as you're doing this work, in a day or two of that Rose of Jericho being in the water, it will start to unfold and it will start to turn green. So you'll have this little shriveled brown, looks like a tiny tumbleweed. And as you place it in that water, it'll open up in the matter of hours. And over the course of a day or two, it will get to its full opening. As it does this, you will see signs of your own prosperity increasing, with new opportunities coming your way, more customers, more ideas for income streams, or an increase in your income. Now, once your prosperity has increased, once you have seen the increase, you're going to change that water every day, use that water around your house. But once you've seen that increase, now it's time to give your Rose of Jericho a little rest. So you take it out of the water, you let it dry out, and it will go shrivel back up into that dormant state. Now, at this point, you can put it away in a safe place and give it a little nap. And the Rose of Jericho has done its work, and your prosperity should remain high. If at any time you feel like you need to give your abundance another boost, you can pull the money miracle plant out again, and you can go through that whole process again. So this is something that you don't keep that Rose of Jericho going all the time. You do it until you see some indication of increase, either new ideas, new streams of income, job offers, and so on, and then you give it a rest. As I said, Roses of Jericho are available as the Money Miracle Plant, and they're available on my site, parlorwonders.com. So there you go. How to work with a Rose of Jericho, how to make Rose of Jericho water, how to bring your abundance, and how this amazing, amazing plant works. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed sharing this with you. And that about does it for this episode of Magic and the Law of Attraction. If you would like to get even more info about the Money Miracle Plant, about Roses of Jericho, then check out my magic blog over at Parlor Wonders. You go to parlorwonders.com, go to instruction, go to magic blog, where you will read my article about Rose of Jericho. And you can find all kinds of other articles teaching you about magic, tarot, witchcraft, law of attraction, spiritualism, all the magical goodies. If you go over there, by the way, and check out the Rose of Jericho article, you'll see videos showing the Rose of Jericho. You'll see my video showing the Rose of Jericho before and after. And I think it's a really fascinating thing to see that before and after, because you won't believe how different they are when they're in dormant state and when they're revived. So it's a really fun thing to see. And don't forget, if you have questions about magical things, mystical things, and you want to join me at the live magic Q&A tea party that takes place every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And you just go to spellsquad.com to get the secret code to get in and join us. And if you do that, you'll also get a free copy of my illustrated ebook, 7 Secrets to Supercharge Your Spell Work, and just go to spellsquad.com and you'll get all of those goodies over there. I want to say a big thank you to our sponsor for this episode, SourcePoint Wellness. SourcePoint Wellness is kind, compassionate, and mindful medicine. It's an integrative healing oasis located in Los Angeles, California, that combines Chinese, functional, and spiritual medicine along with a little bit of magic. Super, super great. Their team of experts offer virtual healing services to anyone in the world. So helpful right now, including integrative telemedicine. Little explanation of that. If you have questions about what's going on, you're not sure, are you sick? Are you well? What your sickness is, you can do a telemedicine session. You can do herbal medicine. You can have herbs sent to you, distance acupuncture and Reiki, which can be done over the phone, goddess acupuncture, Akashic readings, chakra balancing, healing energy work, EFT, and customized breath work. So you can follow SourcePoint Wellness on Instagram at SourcePoint Wellness, or you can email Dr. Cohen at Dr. Cohen, DrCohen, at sourcepointwellness.com to find out more. If you want to become a supporter, a sponsor, or an advertiser, you can do it for as little as $7 per episode. You want to know more? Go to magicandthelawofattraction.com and click the Become a Podcast Supporter button. I want to say thank you to all the Spell Squad members who have subscribed and shared this podcast with their friends, and a big love to the fabulous folks who have left reviews on iTunes. And those reviews are super helpful. When you get more reviews, they kind of put you up in the charts. You get more love, you get more people finding you, and it's all good. So I want to say a special thank you to the podcast review of this episode that I am picking as the spotlight one. This one is from I Am Nina Martin, and it says, life-changing and magical. Dear fellow magical students, this podcast is amazing. It was comforting for me during my Saturn return. What attracted me to this podcast, as well as my magical journey into witchcraft and the law of attraction, was how Madame Pamita sets all her followers up for success. That's really great. I do try to do that. Education is key, not just on our podcast, but on every social media platform she has. This is done by giving away free resources, tips, tricks, and knowledge. She even does a magic Q&A on Sundays for free, what I was promoting on this episode. So I encourage you to go to all her magical, I encourage you all to go to her magical blog on her site, parlorofwonders.com. And by doing this myself, I've discovered it is possible to be a witch. Yes, it is possible for anyone to do magic. That is definitely my philosophy. I'm the only one in charge of my free will. This podcast empowered me in so many magical ways to be my very best version of myself. Thank you so much for being a mentor for all people near and far. I am so grateful. I look forward to continuing learning and developing my skills and powers. And that is I Am Nina Martin. Thank you so much, I Am Nina Martin. I know Nina from being at the Live Magic Q&A. She often comes in and pops in. She's definitely a Spell Squad member and pops in with great questions. So you will see Nina over there, and you can tell her hi when you're over in the chat at the Live Magic Q&A. All right, so if you have not left a review up on iTunes, you can do so. You just go and subscribe to iTunes. Go to iTunes, subscribe to the podcast, and you can post a written review, and you can let me know more of what you like and what you want more of by doing that. I want to say thank you to Gilles Navarre for production and engineering. Thank you to Manfred Hofer for announcing, and thank you to you for joining me here today. I'm looking forward to next week when we'll be answering the question, what do I need to know before getting started with witchcraft? It's a Witchcraft 101 episode. So be sure to join us next week for that. Thank you so much, you guys. Until next time, this is Madame Pamita saying, keep making your life the most magical adventure ever.